Hello and welcome to Property Money Trees Maximising Property Values, the once a month show where I break down the steps of how to recognise, enhance and then extract the values in property in order to create wealth. Would you like to find out how you can benefit from the steps of maximising property values? This is even if you don't own a property yet or have a deposit. If that's a yes, then you're in the right place to find out. My name is Patricia Faber, and although many know me for my work as a solicitor, on this show you will be getting the benefit of my 30 plus years worth of experience of maximising property values, experience which has given me a net worth in millions. So who might benefit from listening to this show? Literally anyone with an interest in creating property wealth. Welcome back. Today I just want to highlight a possible cost that people might face if they are buying a flat and they want to reconfigure it in order to increase the value of the flat, which a lot of us are doing. But this is a new thing since Grenfell. So if you are buying a flat and you've got these plans, just bear the extra cost in mind, because if you don't incur this cost, you most likely will not get building control sign off. So what is this cost all about? Now, if your flat is above the first floor of the building, then you are likely to incur the cost. If it's on the ground floor or the first floor, then this might not be relevant to you, but you might want to know. So when you're out there looking, you might think, I don't want to spend an extra £5,000. I am not going to buy any flat above the first floor level. Entirely up to you. Anyway, so this cost is, it's if you are, and again, it's not going to apply to everyone, but if you're opening up the kitchen stroke lounge and you no longer have a lobby between this kitchen lounge area and your front door, and sometimes even when you do, it's all about, what are the risks involved in you having an open plan kitchen lounge. And the thinking at the moment is that where you have that and the bedrooms open onto this area, then you've got to have a sprinkler system or a mist system. And that is where the costs actually come in, because sprinkler systems and or mist systems are costing, if you've got two heads, which most buildings tend to need. We're talking flats here, they're not that big. Two heads, you're looking at roughly about 3,800. And then if your builder's not going to do your first fix, so that is putting the water pipelines in place, connecting power from your consumer unit to usually a pump. Then there's a little computer that will deal with things. All of those things have to be done, and they have to be done in a particular way in order for the sprinkler or the mist system to be commissioned. And without them being properly commissioned, building control are not going to sign off on what you're doing. And so the first fix can cost an extra £850. So all in all, people can be looking at close to £5,000. Now, if you need more than two heads, so when I say heads, I mean they call them heads, and they're things that look like smoke detectors, but they are the little sort of like things that they can come out of the ceiling or they can come out of the wall. It really depends on what system you actually get. Now, what are the differences between a sprinkler system and a mist system. Now, so I was hit with this because the flat that I was dealing with was on the second floor, and quite rightly so, building control consider that people can't safely jump out of a second floor window, and that is why they are insisting on these things, for flats which are, on ground, floor level 2, second floor or above. So I had to look into all of this. I looked into sprinkler systems, I looked into mist systems. Now with sprinkler systems, they're both very good and they save lives. However, with your sprinkler system, they use so much water that in the event of a fire, there's also water damage that you have to contend with. Now, with mist systems, however, the water is sprayed out in a mist. So it's really fine particles. And for that reason, you tend to have, apparently, from my research, hardly any water damage, and that's why I actually chose a mist system. So those are the things that you might want to consider if you're actually doing this, because how much money is in there, how much money are you spending, how much money can you get back out of your project. So whatever you're doing, add on another circa £5,000 if your flat is second floor or above in the building, because this is a new thing regarding building control. And the thing is, although it is expensive, well, it's expensive if you've not really thought about it. Now, I didn't know anything about having to put in a sprinkler and or a mist system for literally just opening up a kitchen, and having open plan, because I'd not had that before. But yes, it is now a thing. And because I'd not thought about it, because I didn't know about it, the cost was a bit of a shock. But obviously, if people know about it, you can cost it into your budget. You can, and then it's not too much of a problem. So that is the whole purpose of this particular episode, which is, do think about this, because lots of people are doing lots of things without actually knowing the ramifications of the things that they're doing, things that I'm hearing, and, don't want to kind of just out anybody, in this podcast, but some of the things that people are doing because they've sat in clubhouse rooms and they've listened to certain people and they're going out there and they're doing things, it is quite scary. So, I am going to try and continue to do my podcasts like this, just to let people be aware of some of the things that they might, have to deal with that might not be mentioned, in places like Clubhouse, because when people are talking, you're probably focused on one particular aspect of what is being discussed. You're not thinking about doing a masterclass. Even in a masterclass, you can't actually talk about every single thing. So it's very, very important that people get as much information as possible about what they're doing. And that is why I thought, everyone is talking about and doing BRRRs, and a lot of people, when they think about that, when they talk about it, they are thinking about, converting flats either from a studio to a 1-bedroom or a 1-bed to a 2-bed, and sometimes occasionally 2-bed to a 3-bed. 2 to 3s are not that common and they're not that popular, because most people will prefer to live in a house if they actually need 3 bedrooms. And that is usually why, often there's not an uplift from going from a 2 to a 3. Again, just do your due diligence. It may work out for you. There are certain areas, certain blocks where 3 beds are actually desired, so you will get your money. But in the main, it doesn't tend to happen. But anyway, it's just really just that word of caution is what this particular episode is all about. It's going to be short and sweet, I hope, which is just to say, please do your due diligence. You know, what you hear on Clubhouse is not the end of, you know, the story. You know, it really should be the beginning. So take that information, go and do a bit more research, dig into, you know, stuff, find out a bit more before you start to act on the stuff that you are hearing. Anyway, short and sweet, as I said. I really just wanted this one to be quite concise, because it is just something, it's just to make people aware of the things that sometimes we don't know about, but which can cost a lot of money. So everyone have a great time, and you know, for you guys who keep on listening to this, thank you very much. I do appreciate the fact that you keep coming back. The numbers on the platform show it, but I'm not getting the reviews, so if you wouldn't mind just leaving a review, that would be really helpful. So thank you very much.